Picture this. You're at a diner, a backyard barbecue, and a fast food drive-thru, all in the same week. 3 completely different ketchup bottles, 3 completely different companies. Yet the color inside every single one is almost identical. Out of the roughly 10,000 tomato varieties that exist on this planet, ranging from pale yellow to nearly black, the entire ketchup industry has quietly agreed on one very specific red. That's not an accident of nature. That's the result of decades of deliberate engineering. So how did a product grown in dirt under unpredictable weather end up looking the same no matter where it's bottled? Why does even a slightly different shade make people assume the ketchup has gone bad? And what actually happens behind the scenes when the tomatoes themselves don't cooperate? Today we're answering the questions you didn't know you had about ketchup, right here on The Untold Origins. Let's go back, because ketchup wasn't always tomato-based, and it definitely wasn't always red. In the 1700s, British sailors returning from Southeast Asia brought back the idea of a salty, fermented sauce called Ketchup, often made using fish brine. European cooks later experimented with mushroom and walnut versions. Brown, thin, nothing like the bottle in your fridge today. Tomatoes didn't take over the recipe until the 1800s, and even then, early tomato ketchup spoiled quickly and varied wildly in color and thickness. Then, in 1876, a young businessman named Henry J. Heinz launched his own tomato ketchup out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he became obsessed with something most competitors overlooked: consistency. He wanted every jar, from every batch, to look and taste exactly the same. That single idea, sameness as a promise, is the root of everything that followed. So here's how modern ketchup makers actually pull off that unmistakable, reliable red. The truth is, tomatoes are naturally unpredictable. Their color shifts depending on ripeness, sunlight exposure, soil composition, and the specific variety planted that season. Left alone, one harvest might lean orange, while the very next season could produce something closer to deep brick red. To manage this, manufacturers use a device called a colorimeter. Think of it as a machine with an incredibly precise, unemotional eye. It reads color using a numerical system, almost like coordinates on a map, except instead of marking a location, it's marking an exact shade. Ketchup companies know precisely which coordinates they're aiming for, and every batch gets measured against that target before approval. But here's the golden rule: the raw tomatoes are only half the equation. Manufacturers blend different tomato varieties together, adjust cooking times, and sometimes add concentrated tomato paste specifically to steer a batch back toward the target color. It's less like painting a wall and more like tuning an instrument until it hits the exact right note over and over, harvest after harvest. Now here's where the mystery deepens. What happens when the tomatoes simply won't fall in line? Weather is almost always to blame. A cool, cloudy growing season can leave tomatoes underripened, which means they contain less of a natural pigment called lycopene, the compound responsible for that deep red color in the first place. Extreme heat can cause the opposite problem, breaking lycopene down too quickly and leaving tomatoes duller than expected. In particularly difficult years, manufacturers have had to source tomatoes from multiple regions just to blend their way back to the right shade. Most people assume ketchup is red simply because tomatoes are red, but that's only partly true. Tomatoes naturally range from pale orange to deep maroon depending on the variety. That instantly recognizable ketchup red isn't nature's default. It's a manufactured, deliberately chosen target. And here's the detail that feels like genuine insider knowledge. Many food manufacturers rely on standardized color measurement systems, like the Hunter or Munsell color scale, tools originally developed for industries like paint and textiles, later adopted by food scientists. Quality control teams check each batch against a specific numerical range on that scale, and if a batch falls outside it, it doesn't get shipped as is. It gets blended with other batches until it matches. It's the same level of precision you'd expect from a shop matching paint for a car repair, quietly applied to something sitting in your refrigerator door. So the next time you squeeze ketchup onto a plate without a second thought, remember, that color took more than 2 centuries to perfect. Failed fish sauces. unpredictable harvests, ripening science, and quiet quality control all had to align just to create something so ordinary you never even think to question it. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, share this video with a curious friend, and subscribe to the Untold Origins. What things should we explore next? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.